And welcome in, everybody, to another edition of InsideEdge Primetime. Chad Bryan to my right, your left. I am Eli Moon. We are here for another edition of Primetime on this Thursday edition here on the InsideEdge Network. A lot to talk about. We have a special guest here in the second segment joining us, InsideEdge Network talent and Side Hustle Wrestling podcast co-host Kyle Cornell. But Chad and I are going to be discussing some things here at the top of the hour before we welcome Kyle in and talk about WWE Elimination Chamber and some other topics we'll chat with him about. But Chad, we're gonna get into it. We got the NIL, we got the guards, we got Cavs, Browns, everything in between. How are we doing? How are we doing today?
Not too bad. It sounds like we have a little bit of a smorgasbord of stuff to talk about tonight, man.
Yes.
It's a smattering. Two of my favorite words when it comes to food. Smorgasbord. I don't think it's smattering really applies to food, but I guess. You could put a smattering of gravy on your mashed potatoes. Why does it always come back to food with me? I'm fine.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
We had Slider earlier this week. Oh my goodness, pal. Well,
I didn't know.
Well, here's the good news: is you're not being sued for $1 million.
Yes. Here's the bad news. Ex-Cincinnati quarterback Brendan Sorsby is. So this is the downside of NIL, right? We talked about the upside a little bit yesterday. We talked about, you have the right to get paid for your name, image, and likeness, right? But with that, some of these guys are signing contracts, and these contracts they're finding out very binding. Brendan Sorsby apparently signed an 18-month contract with the University of Cincinnati when he committed there to play football. He transferred to Texas Tech. It's fine. There's a transfer portal. Apparently, the two entities don't necessarily intercede and work out all that well, because if you've got an active contract back at your other school, yeah, you can transfer, but you've now violated the terms of the NIL contract. So the University of Cincinnati is suing Brendan Sorsby for $1 million. They said he signed the contract agreeing to pay back a specific amount. It didn't say that specific amount was $1 million. It may have been, I don't know, prorated based on time there times, I don't know, Eli, I'm not sure. All the legal stuff escapes me anyway a little bit. Sometimes it's like I start to read that stuff and I'm like, all right, this is 74 pages to say what like 2 paragraphs could have said. But yeah, so he's being sued for $1 million. End of the day, I mean, if you're in a place where you're happy and you're going to go there and you're going to play, you're going to go make $3, $4, $5 million in NIL at Texas Tech. I mean, is it worth it? It sounds like it might be worth. It's hard to listen. It's hard for me to sit here and say it's worth it to give up $1 million. But if it's $1 million you never had, technically that was never yours, that makes it a little better. But that's a tough one, right? Soon a 19, 20-year-old kid for $1 million sounds like serious business, right? Eli, it sounds a little petty.
Yeah, it's petty, but it's also, I guess, maybe the school's trying to take some sort of command, some sort of control when it comes to the NIL, because players have kind of had their way with it as of right now. They kind of been able to dictate, hey, I'm going here, I'm getting a little bit extra money, or I'm going here because this is a better deal for me, or whatever have you. And maybe this is the school's way of being like, hey, well, at least you're going to have to play by the rules if you're going to leave. If you're going to just go from one school to the next, for opportunity / money opportunity, then you're going to at least have to pay the exit fee. And that's what it seems like it came down to for Sorsby. This report from ESPN was that they sued former quarterback Brendan Sorsby in federal court Wednesday, alleging he breached the NIL contract when he refused to pay a $1 million exit fee. So, I mean, just things that you got to do, and unfortunately he didn't do. So I think this is just the schools kind of doing their due diligence, doing their way of hey, if you're gonna go wherever you want, then we're at least gonna make you pay on the way out. And a lot of these athletes right now, in Sorsby going to Texas Tech, and Texas Tech was just in the college football playoff, so he'll be in a spot where he should be able to make some bread this upcoming season. I mean, it sucks to lose $1 million, but if you do lose it, I mean, who's to say if he does lose it? But it seems like if you didn't pay an exit fee and that's in the contract, you're probably gonna be paying $1 million there, pal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a settlement is still on the table. I'm sure they could work it out, but it's got me thinking. I mean, maybe it does sound a little petty, but I mean, the University of Cincinnati is not wrong, right? I mean, it's not unreasonable to expect him to honor the terms of the contract that he signed. And you can't claim ignorance, right? You can't say, well, I didn't read it. I mean, then maybe don't sign it. Here's what I'm thinking, though. Like, what if we identified a clear tier of I don't know what you want to call them, contenders or whatever. Just we already have the Power Four. We have that type of a situation. The SEC, Big Ten, whatever, right? We have the clear. I don't want to say even blue bloods either, because there are teams within those conferences that clearly aren't blue. I wouldn't call Rutgers a blue blood when it comes to college football. But what if we identified a tier of conferences that, okay, you're Brendan Sorsby and you go to, I'm trying to use even a smaller school than Cincinnati. Let's say you go to, I don't know, Bowling Green, okay?
Double A would be upset. You just called them a small school, but
Well, they're a little bit small compared to Ohio State and Oklahoma.
yeah, I know.
Yeah. Sorry,
I know.
Not that he's watching pop on. Well, he said his name. He said his name 3 times. He popped up like Beetlejuice.
Hey.
That'd be great, actually. So I have a technical concern. Double A. No, it didn't work. Okay. I had to try it. But let's say you go to, okay, fine, Ball State. There, that better? You go to Ball State and you transfer out to Oklahoma. Let's say that maybe we identify a clear tier of level 3, level 2, level 1 schools. If you're at a level 3 school, you transfer to a level 1, being the bigger school, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Michigan, something. Maybe the level 1 school cuts a check back to the level 3 school to make it worth their while. It's like you've got these smaller colleges now. They're just developing guys. It's like the minor leagues until, I don't know, a spot opens at Florida State or Florida or Ohio State or whatever, Nebraska. What doesn't matter? The bigger schools, and then they go and they're gone, and that's it. And you're left with a hole in the roster. And I mean, yeah, you can go out in the transfer portal. There's 3,000 guys in the transfer portal every year, whatever. And that's fine. There's a lot to choose from, but that doesn't necessarily mean that any of those guys are going to want to come to your school and play quarterback or play any position of any importance. So if you do lose a quarterback in the situation like Cincinnati did to Texas Tech, now you're just out of quarterback, right?
Yeah.
At that point, go ahead.
Oh, and I was going to say, not to interrupt you, Chad, but it's unless you're having a donor like Mark Cuban in Indiana's case that's going to pay the money to bring in a Fernando Mendoza, these types of guys through the transfer portal, then you're not going to have a ton of success. Whether it's at quarterback, whether it's at getting the defensive stars, whatever. Unless you're having the donor spending the money on NIL money, or if you're a respected school, Ohio State, Texas, USC, you think of some of these schools, Alabama, Georgia. I mean, for most recent. Unless you're one of those schools, if you have the money or you're well respected, you're probably going to be left at a wayside here. And you hear talks of expansion, 24-team playoff, 36-team playoff. I don't think so. I think we need to leave it exactly where it's at, a 12-team playoff, because we're starting to get to the point where, okay, it is starting to thin out. Indiana, not last year, but the year before, struggled in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Obviously, and people didn't want them back in. And then they come back this year and they mow through the entire competition. So, I think you're going to see, like I said, a separation of talent here very soon between the money spenders, the well-respected, and then the rest of the teams.
Yeah, and maybe instead of these players, and the players deserve they deserve NIL deals. I have no problem with that. But maybe you have a situation where 20-25% of that NIL deal goes back to the previous school, and then everybody's happy, right? You get a little bit, the school gets a little bit of kickback. It's like when you have Ohio State schedule Grambling State, and everybody goes, why do they do that? Well, I mean, it depends on your perspective. I mean, Ohio State's had a couple of teams back out. It had a scheduling change because Washington joined the Big Ten, so they had to scramble to find a team. And it's not as if a season or two away, everybody's just got open dates, just waiting there looming. It's a hard situation. So Grambling goes, yeah, whatever. We'll take a $1.4 million payday to come in there and get smacked around a little bit. I mean, whatever, right? So maybe now, instead of having to go play at these ridiculously huge schools, right, and get beat 70-0 or whatever, now these smaller programs can make a little bit of money when they take a little bit higher ranked prospect from high school, cultivate him, whatever, develop him, and send them on to a bigger school, and they actually get a little bit of a kickback. I think it's kind of a win-win in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's the best way you probably could look at that there. But it kind of reminds me of what Rob talks about on Main Event, where it's like college is just becoming the professionals. And at that point, it's like now you're having a farm system for college teams where, okay, Ball State's getting them prepped for Ohio State. I mean, at what point do you stop that? I don't know.
Well, but you just acknowledge it for what it is. It's happening anyway. And
Yeah, that's
the
fair.
smaller teams are just left in the dust. I mean, so if it's happening, and we know that it's happening, if we can, like I said, just kind of admit what it is and acknowledge it, and find a system where it actually makes it worthwhile to these programs. Maybe that helps, and it doesn't have to all go to the football program. I mean, it can be some of these smaller schools need help with academics. They need all kinds of money for everything. Um,
Yeah,
you can do a lot with a couple $1 million a year.
yeah.
So, I
It's
don't
gonna
know.
be
Maybe it
interesting.
doesn't fix everything, but it's something.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right, and it'll be interesting. So we'll see what happens with Sorsby there in Cincinnati. Now he'll be a Texas Tech Red Raider this upcoming fall.
Yeah.
We got to settle out some money issues first. Um, in other news, Chad, Cleveland Guardians, they started a spring training, and you had some
Yes.
troubling thoughts with one of our outfielders, the Guardians, that being said, and one of the young up and comers that we've been kind of relying on our early on, like going into the
Yeah.
season. Our hopes have been when it comes to the outfield, it's George Valera and Chase DeLauder, and DeLauder has some news coming out here. What today? I believe the news came out today, Chad.
Yeah, I believe this morning, or was it yesterday's game? I'm not sure. I think it might have been before yesterday's game. He was scratched with lower body soreness. Uh, First off, it doesn't get much more vague than that, and that's okay. They don't have to be specific. I mean, I don't need to know the exact nature of his injury, but it does. I think if you're a Guardians fan, it maybe just kind of raises the level of panic inside a little bit, right? You don't want to say the season's done. We don't even know. He may not miss any extended time. I mean, for all I know, he could be back in the lineup, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday. Who knows? I don't know what he's planning on playing again, but it's just with his history, it's always something, right? It's these nagging injuries that keep piling up for him. And I know a lot of guys want to get mad at athletes when they're quote unquote injury prone. I don't know if that's really a thing that's their fault. Sometimes these things just happen. It's unfortunate. But it keeps piling up on Chase DeLauder. I think it's got a lot of people panicking in Cleveland already. We're 5-6 days into spring training. I think the Guardians have played 7 games. On the record, they're 4-3. They started
Yeah,
off real quick, 4-0, lost 3 in a row, and that's okay. Um, Listen, it's spring training, right? Records don't really matter. Although I will say the Dodgers are 6-0. But their split squad game is like literally sending 2 major league teams to different, so it's fine.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
don't worry about that. They're like split squad. We don't even know who to like. How do we pick? It's just 1A and 1B. But yeah, I think the DeLauder thing has people just a little bit worried because it's always something, and then it's like, hey, he doesn't expect to miss serious time, no surgery needed. Then suddenly he's on the IL for 60 days, and then he's out until August. He gets called up in his first appearances in the playoffs, and he's still never played a regular season game here. Think about that. Um,
yeah,
so it just
yeah.
it piles up, and I think it makes you worried, does it not?
Yeah, it does. And for a team that doesn't spend any money in free agency, and this being one of their top prospects,
Yeah.
excuse me, I don't know how to feel if Chase DeLauder were to miss serious time because I don't know if the Guardians are prepared for that. Obviously they're, David Fry is probably going to be doing a lot more DH, and I don't see him playing any outfield, like helping out there.
Yeah.
Especially with DeLauder being a center fielder. There's not too many center fielders we have that can we can even really slot out there. So
And this
I don't know.
is this why they were talking about moving Quan over to center field? Because everything I had heard leading up to the preseason was that DeLauder was expected to be the everyday center fielder, and then
Yeah.
suddenly it was Quan, and suddenly they go out and sign Reese Hoskins, who can, DH and fill in.
And that Hoskins move, that's going to be important now. It's going to be important now, and seeing how much Quan can maneuver over from left to center. They said it was precautionary. Precautionary reasons. DeLauder was scratched, but
Yeah.
lower body soreness, obviously. If that lingers on throughout the season, you're moving around quite a bit. You're like the commander of the outfield,
Yeah.
and if you're not moving around pretty swimmingly out there, then it's not going to be good. Not going to be good.
Yeah, Hoskins can play some left field, so that's maybe they've known about this lower body soreness for a couple of days now,
Yeah.
and it makes like the pieces are falling into place with the Hoskins signing and the moving Quan to center field, and then announcing the lower body
Yeah.
soreness. Just makes me even more nervous as a Guardians fan. Like thinking about it, it's like wow, the pieces have really fallen into place for them to. I mean, it's like they're digging in for the long haul without DeLauder. That's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah, and it's not good. Like I said, we were talking on our Inside Edge Network Guardian preview show. about George Valera, Chase DeLauder, and seeing maybe with Travis Bazana. What's going to happen with Travis Bazana? Are they going to try to get a bat in there and sacrifice the defense? Because I think he is a sound infielder. I mean, he's a very sound middle infielder. I don't know if you sacrifice putting him in the outfield, but hey, we'll have to keep an eye on it and see what the Guardians are doing to make a run towards their first World Series since 1948. And yeah, Chad, I don't know. Not good though. Not good.
No, it makes you nervous. You don't want to. It's not trying to spread bad news or cause any panic or tell anybody to ring the alarm bells or anything else. It's concerning when you hear this. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what's not concerning is our friend Allie Rose and AllieRoseFragrances.com. And you can go ahead and use our discount code, InsideEdge20. That's capital I, capital E, InsideEdge20 for 20% off your entire order. Chad has taken advantage of these phenomenal candles. Pop Moon and I, we had to put an order in. We've been jockeying back and forth for weeks. But we recommend that everybody else go ahead and put their order in while we do the same here. Maybe we'll do so during the commercial break. Papa Moon's walking around here somewhere. So we'll go ahead and we'll do the same. But Double A has his candles in. Chad's shown the different flavors, different vibes. With spring coming up right around the corner, make sure you go ahead and capitalize on this, Chad. I mean, you've definitely enjoyed your candles there from Allie Rose Fragrances.
Yeah, still the autumn day is still going strong in my wife's office. I mean, she's still looking at it. She's like, it's not going down. I'm burning it every day, but it's barely going down. It smells so fresh. It smells clean. You can smell you can smell the lack of chemicals. It's like it smells just different. It's just a nice, clean smell. Again, vegan ingredients, cruelty-free, handmade, right here in the U.S. You can't beat that. Everybody loves that. So, yeah, I would say, and we talked about it yesterday, she just reached a year in business, and that's just such a huge milestone for a small startup, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a huge milestone to hit that 1 year mark. So please go to Allie Rose Fragrances, help her out. And in the meantime, make your house smell really, really good for a little bit longer than a normal candle as well.
Yeah. You heard Chad. You heard me. InsideEdge Network, InsideEdge20, AllieRoseFragrances.com. 20% off your entire order. Candles, body mist, all the good stuff. So go ahead and do that. And we're going to take a quick pause. When we come back, we're going to have Kyle Cornell from the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast joining us, talking about WWE Elimination Chamber and some other topics as well. Chad and I will be back with you, of course, until 11 o'clock Eastern Time. This is Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network, and we're back after this. And welcome back, everybody, to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan to my right, your left. I am Eli Moon. We are back here on this Thursday edition of Primetime, finishing out the week. We talked some Guardians, we talked some NCAA and NIL. And, Chad, I know you're not necessarily the biggest wrestling guy. I know this isn't the Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, but you know what? WWE Elimination Chamber is coming up this weekend. We obviously have a wrestling podcast here on the Inside Edge Network, the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast with Anthony Alford. Yeah, Anthony Alford, Kyle Cornell. And Anthony Alford said he's taken up too much of the airwaves, so he deferred to who would say the younger of the two. So we have Kyle Cornell here joining us now from the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast. Kyle, how are we doing?
First off, it's an honor and a privilege, gentlemen, to be joined and to finally be on the same airwaves as Chad Bryan, the actual star of this entire podcasting network. So, yes. Chad, great to meet you unofficially on this broadcast, my friend.
Nice to meet you. Someone has misinformed you, man. Someone has definitely misinformed you. But
listen, so Double A is right. He does take up too much time. He'll never tell you that. He always wants it all. But one thing, Eli, you were correct with, he is very, very, very much older than me. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. This is a pleasure because apparently now people want my face on shit, so that's cool. So let's rock the house. Who's in the fucking crate? We don't know. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, and Chad has probably no idea what's going on there. But let's break this down now. Here's what we're gonna do, Kyle. I explained this to Chad. Here's how we're gonna do this. Basically, we're gonna talk about the Elimination Chamber card. We're going to talk about it for the wrestling fans out there, but we're going to explain it to Chad and get him involved like he's never seen like the modern day wrestling. So we need to like
just pretend five.
We got to bring him up to speed, okay?
Oh, buddy. It's going to be hard.
Listen, I'm going to draw a picture with my crayons and I'm going to see how accurate I get. It's got to be a good description.
Tell you what, man, if you were doing AEW, you'd be booking the show if you're writing in crayons. So there you go. It's perfect.
So we'll start. We'll start with Becky Lynch defending her women's Intercontinental title against AJ Lee. Obviously, Becky Lynch, the champion. AJ Lee, the wife of CM Punk. Chad, I know you've heard that. Yep, you've heard that name before. Kyle, give the breakdown of like who should he be rooting for in this match, and like why are they fighting?
AJ beat Becky a bunch of times, and she's mad about it. What's the next match?
Got it.
All right, fair. All right.
Honestly, that's perfect.
I find that
I couldn't have gone better.
Listen, through obvious humor, even though sometimes most of the time it's poor on my part, but also just being really simplistic about all of this, it makes it a little bit easier. Usually, Chad, and this is something that hasn't changed probably since the Stone Cold era too, there's a good guy and a bad guy. There's an asshole, and then there's someone you really want to get behind. In this situation,
Eli and me, like respectively, right? He's the and I'm no, that's not.
Oh no, he's 100% the asshole. You're right. No, but
I wasn't sure if I should say it on my own show. I didn't know what to do.
Dude, let it fly. Dude, welcome to Inside Edge, baby. We don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But no, it's very much Becky is the pompous, I'm the best ever. Everyone's saying it. Literally, that's her line. She says that a bunch of times because Bleacher Report said she was the best wrestler ever or some shit. And then AJ has been gone for a long time. She actually just came back after 10 plus years. Her first singles match, I think, since 2015, Eli, something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So she's going to get back in the ring. A lot of support because she lives in Chicago too. So the crowd will be hot for the singles matches, including this one. And just attractive women. That should be enough too, right? I mean,
hey. And we're going to save a lot of predictions for Kyle for Side Hustle, obviously.
Oh, we didn't do shit about either singles match. We just talked about the 2-hour podcast tomorrow. Comes out tomorrow morning. We didn't talk at all about Punk and Balor or Becky Lynch and AJ. So, I almost forgot they're on the card. So thank you for reminding me, Eli.
What's your prediction then? What's your prediction for that one?
That'll end, and then we can move the fuck on because I'm over it. This was supposed to be WrestleMania match. And it turns out that people weren't as hot on it. They don't really have good chemistry together, even though the story makes sense. Them in the ring just doesn't really work as well. So I think Becky will win, and then AJ will just disappear until WrestleMania. Maybe she'll be gone longer. I don't know. She's very part-time. She's like Brock Lesnar part-time, except worse.
Yeah.
So you're not going to see very much of AJ. If she wins the title, that's what I'm concerned about, because that title, it's the women's intercontinental. The men's intercontinental title is the one where people always seem to fight all the time for it. Usually it's the workhorse championship. Can't really give that to a part-time woman and then have her never be on the show. So
Never see the belt again. Yeah, that's it.
yeah, believe me, AEW had a storyline where you didn't know where the belt was for 9 months. That was their main championship. I don't want to see this shit go away. This is a mid-card title. So
that
yeah,
was a cycle, because I think there was I'm gonna show my age. I think there was a time where who was the Intercontinental Champion when I was a kid? It might have been the Ultimate Warrior, and he just disappeared for a while.
well, that's because he died. Oh, sorry, that was 2011. No, that was
He's not coming back. He's with that belt.
no. Maybe in the next life. Yeah,
Amazing match, though. What was it, skeleton match? Could we call it the skeleton match? I'm
we
trying.
can call whatever you want.
Here, man. I'm
That's funny. That's funny. Kyle, all right, talk to me about CM Punk, though, and Finn Balor. I know you guys didn't talk too much about Inside Hustle, but it is for the World Heavyweight title. Is there a chance Finn Balor wins this World Heavyweight Championship, and it's a triple threat match with him, Roman, and CM Punk at Mania?
No, as much as I'd like to see that, no. And Chad, this is the match where they already booked a bigger match for a month and a half from now, and this is the match to fill time in between that and this. So this is the match where you get up and go to the bathroom, even though CM Punk will get the biggest reaction of the night because he's from Chicago. He's essentially their son. So that people love that shit. They love him. But that's the match where you probably just be like, okay, like whatever they're going to do, it's not going to be that good just because you know the end result.
Gotcha.
That's one of the reasons why a lot of people stop watching wrestling, is because it gets predictable. The other two matches on the card, a little bit more possible, shenanigans. The first two and these two matches, you kind of can figure where they're going to go pretty easily.
Okay. All right. We're going to look at the Elimination Chamber matches. You have the women's, Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Kiana James, and Raquel Rodriguez. I want you to first, before we get into the women's Elimination Chamber match, I want you to explain to Chad. Chad, do you know what Elimination Chamber is?
Well, I know what elimination is, and I know what chambers are. But when we put them together in the context of wrestling, I mean, I could probably figure it out if you gave me a couple of minutes and like some crayons. But why don't you just
keep going back to the fucking Crayolas, man?
I love crayons, dude. I love my crayons. We will still pretend I'm 5, and let's have it explained to me like I'm 5.
Kyle, go ahead.
This has got to be, as a 31-year-old adult, this is probably one of my funniest things I've ever done in my life. Explaining pro wrestling to someone who's in my age group is probably one of the craziest things.
Listen, thank you for pretending that I'm in your age group. I'm actually 46. I am an old man. You can see the gray in the beard. So,
it's illegal to lie on the InsideEdge podcast network, right, Chad?
What's that?
It's illegal to lie. You're not allowed to lie about your age. Like, we have a forum, right?
Well, I didn't fill all that stuff out yet, Kyle.
What the fuck is Anthony doing? Program director. Yeah, sure. Fuck me.
He's going to pop on here. We've said his name too many times. He's going to
he'll appear like Joe Hendry, who we probably don't know who that is, but that's fine. That's cool.
It's okay. We got baby steps. We're trying to teach Chad about the Elimination Chamber.
Okay. I'll get that on task, Eli. So the Elimination Chamber, Chad, is...
We got to be careful. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a giant steel structure.
Okay.
Think of, like, if you remember back in the 90s, like Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
Like that big cage that comes down over the ring.
Yeah.
Well, this has 4 pods in it, and there are 4 wrestlers inside the pods. 2 wrestlers start the match.
Okay.
And then how it works is, I think they say like every 90 seconds, but let's be honest, they speed it up and slow it down because it's wrestling and they don't care. A random person enters the match. The lights above the old chamber go off. If your pod lights up, you're in. Door opens.
Okay.
You have to eliminate your opponents one by one. Essentially, it's 6 people in a match to start. The last person standing wins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an elimination style match.
All like one-on-one, or is there some collaboration here sometimes?
There can be, but at the end, you want to win it. So it's every man for themselves. It's kind of like the Royal Rumble. It's like you find some people that will work together a little bit.
Yeah.
But everyone's trying to throw everyone over the top rope at some point. This is the thing where everyone's trying to get pinned.
Guys and formulate an alliance with them, right? And then once we figured out everybody, I would just throw those guys out. See ya. That's it, right?
That's honestly, you're talking about most of the Royal Rumbles that have ever happened too. Yeah. So that's you got the psychology's right here. You got it all. Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
How good of a teacher you are.
Oh, because I really make it really easy for.
Why should Chad be invested in this women's Elimination Chamber match? Why, if he were to watch this weekend, why should he want to watch this Elimination Chamber match for the women?
Because both of these chamber matches, including the women's, there's questions. Like I said before, the two other matches are predictable. This one's a little different. So the winner of these matches goes on to a title match at WrestleMania, the biggest show. It's like our Super Bowl, all that stuff. But on the women's side, the person who wins this match is facing someone named Jade Cargill, and she's a brick shithouse. So I don't know who they want to put in the ring with her. There's some logical choices, mainly two, but the person to watch for and the person I think you would enjoy probably the most is this new girl called Kiana James. She came out of nowhere. She's pinned and beaten a couple really big stars early in this past couple months here. Including a person who's actually in the chamber, Alexa Bliss, too. She pinned her. So this is her coming out party. She had a great promo, too, on SmackDown a couple weeks ago. She's really stepped up. She'd be fun to watch. And if you're a red-blooded, male like myself or like Eli, being able to look at Rhea Ripley is always fun. So, yeah, she's always great to come out and watch. So,
all right. So,
dude, it's women. It's a hot women beating the shit out of each other. It's fun, dude. That's why Ronda Rousey's going back into the octagon or whatever. It's like, yeah, we want to see that shit. Like, who doesn't want to see it?
Maybe I missed the point of this lesson, but I feel like what I'm supposed to have learned here is that being a brick shit house is better than being a shit brick house.
No, I think you nailed it on the head there. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Maybe I got it then. Okay, all right. I'm doing pretty good. I can't wait for the final. Honestly, I'm super excited for this. I didn't think I was going to have this class. I'm all in now. Let's do it.
You're doing pretty good. Let's go to the men's chamber here. It is Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Jey Uso. We already know what a chamber is now, the Elimination Chamber, Kyle. But tell Chad why he should be invested in the men's Elimination Chamber match.
I'm assuming, Chad, you know who Randy Orton is.
I do know who Randy Orton is, yes.
That's your reason.
There you go.
Because he makes this shit fun.
Okay.
The fact that he is, and I'm not trying to date you now, around your age, but looks like he's younger than Eli. It is.
Gotcha.
He's aging in reverse, even despite all the cocaine, drugs, and strippers he did back in the 2000s. It's wild how he's found a way. Yeah. Hey, he admitted to it on that TV show pretty much. If there was social media in the 2000s, Randy Orton might be in jail for the next 25 years, but he's not. He's here, which is great. And he's one of the selling points in this match, obviously the star power. And again, there's some obvious, like, hey, Cody Rhodes is the guy. He's the guy that's feuding with the current champion, so he's the popular pick. But Javon Evans, Trick Williams, two newer guys that are fucking awesome. They're so fun to watch. Trick is just charismatic as hell. He's a big dude, looking like Booker T, except better. And then Javon Evans, if you've never seen him before, which I'm assuming I'm having this conversation with you because you haven't, 21. He's already better than probably 90% of the roster. Like, he is that damn good. This dude can jump higher than probably anyone I've ever seen before. And he is entertaining. So entertainment value is going to be off the charts. It's going to be a great match. Cody Rhodes will probably win, but we'll have some fun along the way.
Yeah. Fun sounds fun.
Chad, do you have any questions for Kyle?
I'm going to write them down. I just broke a crayon. I broke my favorite crayon. All the other ones rolled off my desk. I'm going to write them down, and I'm going to send them in. Do we have, like, an address?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Well, I know a guy.
Email?
Yeah.
Send them to the P.O. box.
Yeah. Kyle.
InsideEdge Network P.O. box.
You talked about the Elimination Chambers. What else you guys talk about tomorrow on the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast? Give the people, the primetime audience, a sneak peek of tomorrow's episode.
We're going to find out if Double A can actually run a PowerPoint. That's always fun. The last time we were in studio, we couldn't fucking figure out how to turn the slides over. So we got that all buttoned up. That was fun. That takes up the first probably 10 minutes of the show. So enjoy that part. Make sure you stick around for the actual wrestling talk. We talk about a lot of it. There's a lot going on in the wrestling world, and, like, obviously AJ Styles being one big thing. He is obviously retired now, staying with WWE, so that's pretty cool. We'll break that down a little bit. Also, there was an AEW wrestler today. This is actually breaking, so I'll talk about it now. You'll catch the full clip on the episode tomorrow morning when the show comes out. I know Eli is familiar with Darby Allin. Got kicked out of an Uber while doing an interview. on a national podcast. So we're gonna break that down because that was bullshit. It was.
I
It's
actually
either.
can't wait to see why and how that went down. I can't wait.
Oh, it's fucking a trip. Almost so that I think somebody wrote about it or wrote it into a script somewhere and they staged it. But we'll obviously break that down a little bit tomorrow too.
Never. No, come on, stop it. Remember,
Dude.
I'm 5. Never. Come on.
Context, he was on a fucking highway and the kid kicked him out. It was wild. But like, yeah, we'll dive into that too. Obviously, Chamber, we have the picks, we have kind of our favorites, our sleepers, all that good stuff. And talking about injuries in wrestling. Bronson Reed, one of the guys that's been kind of featured more on Monday Night Raw, tore his bicep this past week. Braun Breaker apparently got mad, flipped over a table because he couldn't go through it like a Buffalo Bills fan. And so he fucking has a issue with his hernia and all that shit. And then obviously Seth Rollins has faked 4 injuries, but the last one was apparently real. So we're going to dive into do they need to wrestle more to get more calluses on the bodies and get them back to where they were before? Because it seems like back in the days of Stone Cold, if you didn't break your neck, you never really got hurt too much. So we're gonna dive into all that and more tomorrow morning. It's a long episode, 2 hours. Because
the main takeaway is, listen, you cannot go through a table that you can't flip without giving yourself a hernia. I think that's the main takeaway there, right?
Yeah, it's almost like I want to call bullshit on that, but
Man,
if you saw what Braun Breaker looks like, and then you see that a table caused him to have a hernia, it feels kind of like bullshit to me. I'm not gonna lie. Dude looks like he squats 1,000 pounds, but he can't fucking pick up a table and flip it over. Like, okay, sure.
Yeah, that sounds a little funny to me.
Sounds like some bullshit.
Smells, of a certain ilk, for sure.
Before we
What about milk?
Nope, but drink milk. That won't help you with the hernia. As I said, then you won't break your bones, but that's not gonna help you with the hernia. So.
No, the bones get thicker. It'd be harder to pull it out, though. You're right.
I heard you got some good news with BA Sweeties. You want to tell the people about BA Sweeties, and you guys got a code there?
Yeah, so they're back. They're, of course, the new presenting sponsor, back again for the Side Hustle Wrestling podcast. That promo code, by the way, is Lollipop. So use that in-store only. So you can't go online. You have to go to the store. And trust me, you're going to want to go to the store anyway. It's fucking awesome, dude. There's so much going on in there. Use that promo code. It's funny, too, because it lines up with, obviously, us. WrestleMania season is like our Super Bowl. For them, Easter. Easter's their Super Bowl, man. That's the biggest holiday. It's when they sell the most candy. It's not Halloween. It's not Valentine's Day. This is the time now. So when you're going, because, hey, there's only 5 weeks left until Easter, make sure you go, use that promo, go get some money off on that purchase. It's a can't miss opportunity. You want to pay less for getting candy and getting sweets and having fun. Do it. Promo code's Lollipop.
Even at 5 years old, I know that. So that's fine.
You went from 46 to 5, Chad. Make up your fucking mind.
Listen, I'm Benjamin Button. I am. Thank you. Welcome to Primetime. It's Eli and Benjamin Button right here on the Inside Edge Network.
Yeah,
Benjamin Button. Shit.
Painting in reverse.
Came out a wrinkly old man. You're going on a brand new baby.
Kyle, man. Oh man. Kyle, anything new you want to share with the people before you get out of here, or anything coming up? I know it's the Mania season for you guys. I know usually you guys do like a remote or something. Anything coming up? You guys hitting the road, or anything that we should expect with the Side Hustle Wrestling podcast?
So probably the week before Easter. It's a little before WrestleMania because WrestleMania is in the middle of April. Easter's at the beginning of April. So that week of Easter, we're probably going to be stopping over at our partners over at BA Sweetie, doing a live remote there. I mentioned the weekend before, so a chance to come on down. We'll obviously have more details on time and exactly where we're going to be set up. We'll give you those on the podcast leading up into the live remote. But always fun to go into the store, talk to Tom and the whole group. It's a fun group. They're awesome. They're great, and we have a great time. Last time we were there, it was around Halloween, I believe, not last year, but the year before. And there was, of course, the election going on too. So they had the Kamala Harris and the Trump bars. There was a whole thing. This guy gifted us 15 Trump bars. It was wild. So that was fun. Turns out he won, so I guess that worked out for the best for him. But nevertheless, we always have a great time. There's always something crazy that happens, so make sure you tune in for that. And I'll be doing probably a remote show in the middle of April. I'll be playing tennis in Phoenix for the Nationals for USTA, so I'll be out there with that. So I'll get to do another show. I've done one in Hawaii, and I'll be able to do one in Phoenix from either my hotel room or a pool, or I don't know, somewhere where I can make Double A feel bad about where he's currently at. So that's great. So we like doing it. So
I love it. All right. Hey, well, that's Kyle Cornell, Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast with AA Anthony Alford. You can check them out tomorrow. New episode and weekly here on the Inside Edge Network. Kyle, we appreciate you, my bro. We are going to let you say farewell. And we're going to say farewell here for just a moment. When we come back, we're going to go into the NFLPA, the report cards, and we're going to dive into potentially some NBA news if we have time. If not, we'll shelve it for next week. We'll see how we get, what we get to, how we get to it. And when we come back, Chad, Bryan, and myself, Eli Moon, we're back right after this with more Inside Edge Primetime on the Inside Edge Network. And welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan to my right, your left. I am Eli Moon. We're back for one final segment here on Primetime this week, this Thursday edition, wrapping up this action-packed week, Chad. We had Kyle Cornell on there. That was your, I think, one of your first interactions with Kyle on the network.
Yeah,
If not your first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Sorry,
Very good.
Okay.
No, it's okay. It's okay, dude. It's okay, man. It's all right.
I'm live, and I get excited, and I just say things, and they come out. That's not my fault.
Yeah, no, you're good. But no, I thought it was good. Obviously, for those wrestling fans out there, the WWE Elimination Chamber, which is taking place this weekend, Saturday, February 28th. So go ahead and check that out if you are a wrestling fan, and check out Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast here on the Inside Edge Network, Kyle and AA, and check out all of our coverage here of sports, mental health, entertainment, everything in between. Inside Edge Net on all the socials. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's get into this here, Chad.
Do we have to?
The NFLPA. And would you like to take it away?
Sure. Every year, we have the NFLPA survey that goes out, and I'm assuming that guys fill this out individually for the most part. I don't know that there's a lot of collusion or anything, but every year the Browns seem to end up in the same place, and it doesn't matter who's in the locker room, who's on the roster. The grades are very, very similar every single year, and thanks to ESPN, we've got an idea of. And I know, listen, to be fair, I sent Eli a little screenshot. Well, it wasn't a screenshot. I literally took a picture of my laptop screen. So I guess it was a screenshot in a way, in a roundabout sort of way, of a little segment of that article out from ESPN that said that the NFL doesn't necessarily, I don't know, they can't authenticate the veracity of these grades. I'm not even sure what that means. I don't know. Apparently this could be not. I don't know. I have no idea what that means, Eli. That just was snuck in the article, and I thought that was weird, and no fanfare was made of that at all. So these may or may not be the actual grades for the Cleveland Browns. And without further ado, I am going to put this. This is like watching an honor roll grade card come up. When you see these grades, it's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna be all A's, right, Eli? And what else could it be for the team out in Berea? I mean, what other grades could we possibly be looking at? And this grades everything, and we'll just put it up. Everything from I already see a D-, Eli. Treat the families. How do you not treat the families well? My goodness.
No.
Well, the home game, that's good. The field got a B-. The food's got to be good. It's Cleveland. Nope. That's
not good. The locker room.
Oh my. F is for fantastic, right?
Traveling seems rough.
Oh. Well, what about the coordinators? Because Tommy Reeves was showing some. Okay.
But Bubba Ventura.
Well, because Andre Schmidt figured it out. So Bubba. Nope.
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, at least the defensive coordinator got an A-, and we still have that guy around, right?
Oh. No. All right. Well. Okay. It had to be better from an individual standpoint, right? I said Barry. So obviously we're talking about my guy Andrew Barry.
Yeah. He did fine. He got a C. Or just move on to Kevin Stefanski, because I'm sure he did fine. He's a 2-time coach of the year. There's no way he could do worse than. Oh my God! Wait, are the Browns not a good franchise? Wait, Eli. I'm gonna bring you back on, Eli. Are the Browns not a good franchise to play for, or to coach for, or to do anything for?
Yeah, I mean, something seems like But it just
money in the world.
It seems like with a grade of a C, and I know we don't have too much time to spend on this near the end of the show, but it seems with the grade of a C that players just don't care. Like they're uninterested. Like, okay, Kevin Stefanski, whatever. Andrew Barry, whatever. Food sucks. Travel sucks. But whatever. We're just here doing our job. And I hope that changes. I hope Todd Monken can change the atmosphere, because if your atmosphere is not right, how are you going to go win football games if you don't even feel good about it's like my Papa Moon used to say growing up, getting ready for baseball, whatever. You look good, you play good, know. And it's like, it's like if you eat good or you travel well, then you're going to probably play well, or at least feel a little bit better about what you're about to go do. And obviously the Browns do not feel that way. What was that ranking? Can you pull that ranking up one more time? What was the ranking out of 32 teams?
Well, it's their 30th. And listen, a little bit there's a silver lining, Browns fans. Don't take it too rough, because you know who came in at number 32? The Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers were dead last in the league. So it just, I think it brings up the issue that we talked about with Mike Tomlin. He's just over there working miracles with nothing. No, I think they got an F on their facilities. A lot of stuff, man. The Steelers it was bad. It was really, really bad.
Yeah.
And to be fair, that may be that Aaron Rodgers was the only one that filled one out, and we know he's a grumpy old man, like me. So maybe that's the reason for that. Maybe he's just the only one that returned the survey, and he just lambasted the Steelers. And they're going to go back there and play for Mike McCarthy next year, so it's going to be fun.
That's funny. That's funny. Do you think it's lame that the NFL, the owners are trying to hold off on these being leaked? I mean, obviously, like more and more info is coming out. Okay.
Yeah, it's lame. Stop. Listen, these men are all billionaires. These groups they're all billionaires. You don't own a professional sports franchise anymore unless you. And now you may not have the liquid cash, but your assets total well over $1 billion at this point. You are worth over $1 billion. Yes, these should absolutely be. It shouldn't even be a leak. These should be so transparent. This should be like, you look at Glassdoor or whatever when you're going to go start a new job. You go, well, what's going on here? What's the, hopefully there's some stuff on Glassdoor. I can find out what it's like to work there. I think professional athletes should know exactly what they're getting into. And then listen, when you have guys that go, listen, I don't want to be drafted by this team, I'm not going to sign. Stop crying. If your facilities get an F and your travel gets a D- and your whatever gets an F, the locker room's an F, the food is a D-, treating their families is D-. Stop complaining when people don't want to sign with and or get drafted by your team. Again, this is on the ownership. There's absolutely no reason to have grades this poor. When you run a first-class organization, let's be honest, I'm a baseball guy. The NFL is probably the best professional sports organization in America, okay? There is absolutely no reason that any of these 32 teams should be getting Fs or D-. They shouldn't have this many disgruntled players. When you're talking about the facility, I get it. You may have had a bad interaction with the general manager. Maybe you got traded, you got cut, whatever. That's fine. You're going to fill out the survey. It's not going to be good. There's no reason to ever treat players' families and get a D- in that. Like how poor. Like you don't understand hospitality. Like you really can't host the players' families better than to the tune of a D-.
The people that are
right, a D-.
Yeah, the suiting up on the field. Yeah, I mean, it's not a good look. I'm also curious. Food dining area was what a D- or was that an F?
Yeah,
D plus. Okay, D plus.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I was gonna say, what kind of food you got to be serving for it to be a D plus?
Too small? Is it just nobody can eat there? Are there like animals? I mean, what
Are there animals?
Why does it get a D plus? Like you get a slider and it's they come out and there's just like a whatever. I don't want to say it's gross, but I don't know.
Chill.
Yeah, you can understand where I'm going.
Yeah, easy. End of the week. We don't need to get canceled. End of the week.
Let's get the Monday. Let's just get the Monday.
We're doing good. But yeah, that's our NFLPA wrap up of report cards. Well, as long as we keep getting more leaks, we'll keep giving them to you. But
that's all. It's got to improve. The Browns have to improve on all of that.
Yeah, it is disappointing. It is truly disappointing. So, all right, Chad. Well, staying near the end of the week here for us. With that being said, let's go ahead and let's get some final thoughts. What are your final thoughts on this Thursday edition of Primetime?
My final thoughts. Listen, we're heading into the weekend. We may have one more large snowstorm looming up here in Northeast Ohio. Not a ton of details on that. So just, again, it's been warm. It's been cold. Got really cold for a while. Got a little bit warm again. Then it snowed. It's going to snow again. Just be patient. We're almost to spring. We're almost through. Don't dwell too much on the DeLauder injury. Let's not go into this weekend glass half empty. Let's try to go into this weekend glass half full. Like, hey, this could be the last snowstorm of 2026, right? Or at least the early part of 2026. And maybe until we get to December or whatever.
At least the early part.
The
early part.
Well, the mid part, we're okay. I think through June and July, we're going to be all right. We're probably not going to have too many snowstorms. I would say the over-under is 0.5 there.
My goodness.
I think you'd be
I'll
safe.
take the under.
Yeah, I'll take it all day.
The under. But
yeah, just be patient. We're getting there. I know sometimes I feel a little bit of cabin fever in the winter when it gets cold. I walked my son into school today. It was 18 degrees this morning, and my sinuses were doing that freezing thing. And I was like, no, not again. Like, we can't, like, we're done with this, right? Like, we can't do this. But we are getting there. We're going to get there eventually. It's going to be spring, and it's going to bring summer. We're going to be going to Guardians games. They're going to hopefully be, competing.
Oh, we lost Chad.
In the hang in there, and let's get the spring, let's get the summer, and things will feel a little bit less pressure packed. I hope, right? Just get the summer.
I'm with it. I'm with it, Chad.
Fair.
I love that. Yeah, go out and enjoy. Here in Ohio, I think it'll be 51, I want to say. I want to double check that before we get out of here. But I think it's going to be 51 is the high tomorrow. 52 and sunny.
Look at that.
So
that.
if you're looking for something to do, Brothers Lounge in Lakewood, Ohio, my album release show for Golden Child. Doors at 7, show at 8 p.m. Tickets are $10. My Lahele Bros, Mushu, Cliche, and Gio will be performing. I'll be performing the debut of my album Golden Child, which will be available for purchase. I know in today's day we like to do streaming, but I want to kind of bring back an authentic feel, a real feel to like buying the album again. So it'll be available. You'll see at the Man They Call Moon. You hit me up. That's where I do a lot of my business. But you can buy the album. I'll send you the link. You can buy it straight through and listen that way. But if you're looking for something to do in the area, come on out. Golden Child album release show, Brothers Lounge, $10 tickets tomorrow. 7 doors, show at 8. So that is my final thoughts.
Eli, I just realized I'm less than an hour away from owning this album. It's almost midnight.
Oh, I appreciate you, man. My dog, dude.
Excited, man.
My dog.
I told you sent me the Instagram video. I let my wife hear it last night. She was like, "Okay, but do you have the album yet?" Like, I love the song, and I'm like, "It's not out yet. You got to wait." And she's like, "I can't wait. I'm gonna go burn all the candles. We're gonna listen to Eli. It's gonna be awesome. I actually can't wait. I'm super excited for it." My wife really did love the snippet of the song that was on Instagram. Man, we were jamming to it last night. It was pretty cool.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. For everybody out there, I really appreciate you. We appreciate you here on Inside Edge Primetime supporting us, supporting the Inside Edge Network. Give us a follow at Inside Edge Net on all the socials. Give Chad Bryan a follow at Real Chad Bryan. Me at the Man They Call Moon. I'm Eli Moon. That's Chad Bryan. We are Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. We're back with you Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, Chad Bryan, Illegal Formation, a Sunday sports show this weekend. I'll be producing the 1s and 2s with Papa Moon. May make an appearance. And then main event Sunday. So until then, Chad and I will see you. Everybody be good, and we'll see you back Monday.
Big thanks to Kyle.